Hello, dear viewers. Have you ever wondered whether love requires only patience, or does it sometimes demand sacrifices that not everyone has the courage to offer? Huwain feels anxious because Angie's ex-wife hasn't appeared yet. Is this silence merely a coincidence, or does it conceal a deeper plan? Does Angie's ex-wife think of returning and reclaiming what she once had? From the perspective of Huwain's ex-husband and his mother-in-law, have they noticed that Angie has returned, now smiling with renewed happiness? Can this happiness withstand the subtle storms beginning to stir in silence? Let's join Huwain in today's episode to uncover the secrets, challenges, and hidden tender hopes behind this quiet storm. After breakfast, the house sank into a strange silence. The smell of porridge still lingered in the air, but no one thought about its taste anymore. Huwain sat beside Maya, gently brushing her hair as if the familiar motion could restore some calm. He opened his shirt in silence, buttoning each button as if it added strength he wasn't sure he possessed. In the mirror, tension reflected on his face, his eyes bearing traces of a sleepless night. In the courtroom, two words lingered in his mind, refusing to grant him any comfort. He stood behind her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "I know you're worried," he said softly, "but stop. It's not just you. We'll stand by you. No matter what happens, you still have a home. You still have a place to return to." He tilted his head slightly. His eyes shimmered as if a fleeting neglect might cause tears to fall. But Huwain didn't allow himself to appear weak. He knew his strength in that moment depended on her resilience. Maya hugged him, her small bag at her side, and leaned toward him with a cheerful voice. "Uncle D, I'll draw you lots of flowers to bring you luck today." Those childish words were like a cool breeze amidst all this burden. Dee hugged Maya, feeling between her small arms that he wasn't alone. Outside, the sun had already risen, painting the dirt road golden. The cicadas chirping announced a hot day, but the heat wasn't as daunting as the exhaustion they were about to face. In that moment, the three exchanged glances in silence. The family wasn't ideal in the traditional sense, but it was united by loyalty and the wounds that had begun to heal. Then Dee took a deep breath, as if gathering all the strength around him, preparing for a decisive morning. He closed the door behind him. His figure faded on the sunlit dirt road, leaving the courtyard empty and silent. Huwain stood motionless at the doorframe. Her gaze followed him until only a misty space remained in the morning light. A silent prayer rose in her heart for his safe return. Inside Maya's small house, without exaggeration, she spread papers on the tiled floor, filling them with colors blending flowers and bright leaves. Huwain sat beside her, embracing her small body, but her glances were distant. An old sadness, like New Year's Eve sorrow, crept through the corners of her memory. She recalled past days with her ex-husband, Tokyon, his face, his somber looks, and the dark days that made her tremble, even in her sleep. But if Tokyon left one day, he would return to find Maya and destroy what she had tried to build. That thought tightened her chest. Then another memory surfaced, her mother-in-law. Her cold face, her words sharp as knives, pushing her toward despair's abyss. If she knew Huwain and Maya were still here, would she leave them alone, or would she act with the same cruelty as before, perhaps worse? Between her mother's arms, Maya raised her sparkling eyes and asked innocently, "Mommy, Uncle, will you come back to us?" That gentle question, unintentionally, stirred Huwain's deepest worries. He fell silent for a moment, then smiled. A faint smile, but it trembled. "Of course I'll come back, my dear. Uncle will come back and never leave us alone." But deep inside, there was still fear. Fear that the dark past would return, that a harsh hand would destroy the fragile peace she and Maya had barely achieved. Outside, the cicadas' song in the midday summer heat was like drums beating eagerly, heralding things no one could predict. The courtroom was lit with bright lights, and the dense air pressed on the chests of all present. Dee sat on one side, his face stern, hands clasped, fingers trembling slightly. In his confrontation, his ex-wife appeared cold, her gaze sharp, as if she aimed to shatter any remaining piece. At the table, the property division file weighed like a board. The judge tapped his gavel softly and spoke solemnly. The property division trial will be held today after the divorce of both parties. Everyone is required to remain calm and respond clearly. His ex-wife's lawyer stood, her voice clear and confident. She demanded her client's ownership of the shared house with the most of the assets accumulated during the marriage. She had contributed and borne the burden all of these years. Every word fell on him like a dagger. That house, the place where every brick and wall was built with the sweat of his brow. And now the woman who abandoned him with cold indifference demanded it. Dee tried to stay calm while standing. Your Honor, this house is not just material wealth, it's the place where I put all my effort to build. For a moment, silence prevailed. The judge observed him, assessing every gesture. Her ex-wife raised her mouth slightly with a cold smile. Well said, but have you ever thought, Dee, how you got to this point? I have a right, and I will take back what is mine. The gavel struck again. The tension in the courtroom was palpable. Dee sat, his heart pounding like war drums. There was not a single thought in his mind. If he lost that house, he'd lose the only place protecting Huwain and Maya. The courtroom corridor was cold and silent, reflecting the glossy tiled floor. He stepped out, his shoulders heavy as if carrying an entire mountain on his back. He wanted to take a deep breath to calm his fear. When he heard familiar footsteps, he turned. It was his ex-wife, approaching, her face wrinkled, her gaze sharp as a knife. She stopped in front of him, her voice low but cold. How foolish you are, Dee. Everything I want, I will take back. That house, don't dream of keeping it. Dee clenched his fists and remained silent. But as she continued, his eyes darkened. And that girl, Maya? Does she think she is yours? She's not of your blood. A man like you around her makes everyone see you as a fraud. Dee's heart sunk, but he responded with every calculated word. Maya doesn't need blood to be considered my family. I love her, I protect her, and I won't let anyone, not even you, hurt her. You can keep the possessions, but don't dream of touching Maya. Her ex-wife let out a dry laugh filled with disdain. Do you think you can stand in my way? A man who owns nothing with a child not his dreams of a house. A day will come when you lose everything, even that little illusion. Her words were like knives piercing his chest, but Dee didn't back down. He raised his head, a rare resolve shining in his eyes. Illusion isn't faith, and faith will never be taken from me. Silence prevailed in the corridor. Her ex-wife paused for a moment, then turned and walked away, her heels clicking on the cold, tiled floor, leaving behind an empty, heavy tension. Dee stood there, cold sweat on his brow, but a steadfast fire burned within him. No matter what happened, he had to protect Maya and Huwain. Outside, the afternoon light fell, painting the sky red. In the small house, Huwain pressed Maya's hand, trying to hide the worry consuming her. Elsewhere, the icy courtroom corridors stretched, each step heavy as an uncertain future. Her ex-wife's challenge continued to weigh on him. She would lose everything, even Maya. Was it merely an emotional shock, or was she hiding a carefully prepared plan? Could Huwain's past with her ex-wife and her harsh mother-in-law explode suddenly and destroy the fragile peace they had barely achieved? Would she have the strength to protect that house? Would Maya, the innocent girl become the center of a fierce confrontation? And would Huwain's faith withstand the raging storms? The answers will unfold in the next chapter, where truth, love, and the hidden games of power will emerge.